Atlanta, the St. Regis, Buckhead, 200 people, crystal everywhere, money you can smell, and one woman carrying a tray she can barely feel in her hands. Her name is Tara, 27 years old, Decatur, Georgia, catering staff, uniform 3 sizes too big. She hasn't eaten in 14 hours, not because she forgot, because there was nothing to eat, because the shift started at 3, because Craig told her, "These guests pay $2,000 a plate. You don't eat their food." So Tara didn't eat. Tara never ate. Tara just kept moving. It's 9:47 p.m. She's on her 4th lap of the floor, 14 champagne flutes, sterling silver tray. Her hands are shaking. She knows they're shaking. She's been controlling it for 40 minutes. And then something lets go, not the tray, her, slowly, silently, like her body just decided. Enough. The crystal hits the marble. Half a second after she does. 2 seconds, nobody moves. Then the noise, staff rushing, guests pulling back, phones going up, and one man at the far end of the room doesn't move at all. He's not looking at his phone. He's not talking to anyone. He's not startled. He's not concerned. He is just watching her, still, unreadable. 200 people in that room, 200 people reacting exactly the way you'd expect. And this man, nothing. But here's what nobody in that room knew. Nobody knew who Tara really was. What she had already survived just to be standing in that room tonight. What she was carrying in that uniform pocket. That had nothing to do with champagne. And nobody, not a single person in that room of 200, knew who the man watching her was. Stay with me, because what happens in the next 12 minutes changed both of their lives. Forever. Who is the still man? And why didn't he react like everyone else in that room? Let's go back 18 months. Before the gala, before the uniform, before any of this. Tara grew up in Decatur, Georgia. She knew every street, every shortcut, every neighbor who left their porch light on. She built a life there, a real one. A house on Glenwood Avenue she'd lived in for 8 years. A husband. His name was Thomas, 31 years old, healthy, or so they thought. One Tuesday morning, Thomas didn't wake up. Heart attack. No warning. No life insurance. $34,000 in unpaid medical bills. Tara was 25 years old, widowed, and already underwater. She sold the house, paid the bills, packed what was left into a Section 8 apartment on Flat Shoals Road. She didn't complain. She didn't fall apart. She just started over. 4:30 in the morning, every morning. That's when her day starts. I-285 in the dark. MARTA bus when the shift runs long and she misses the last one. Kroger on Memorial Drive. $80, 2 weeks. She makes it work. But here's what nobody knew. 3 weeks before the gala, Tara picked up a second job. Corporate cleaning contract every Tuesday morning. The company? The same financial firm whose gala she is working tonight. She has been invisible in their building for weeks. Now, back to the gala, back to the floor, back to tonight. Silver Star Staffing. Out of Marietta, Georgia. Tara's agency. They have a policy. No meal breaks for staff on events under 6 hours. The gala is listed as 5.5. 5.5. Tara has been on her feet since 3 in the afternoon. It is now 9:45 at night. Do the math, she asked, quietly, professionally. She asked the floor supervisor, a man named Craig, if she could eat one of the hors d'oeuvres going back to the kitchen, the ones headed for the trash. These guests pay $2,000 a plate. You don't eat their food. And then, just to make sure she understood, you knew what the job was when you took it. If you can't handle standing, maybe catering isn't for you. That was Craig, 34 years old, floor supervisor. Silver Star Staffing, Marietta, Georgia. And while Tara was still on that marble floor, unconscious, Craig was already on the phone, calling her agency supervisor, recommending she be dropped from the roster for being a disruption. Craig made that call before the paramedics reached her. He didn't wait to see if she was okay. He was already building the case to erase her. When Tara fell, her bag went with her, and among everything that spilled onto that marble floor, one folded piece of paper. Georgia State University, Office of Admissions, her daughter's name. At the top, full academic scholarship, starting August. Her daughter, Kezia. Tara has been working 3 jobs to cover the one thing the scholarship doesn't include. Room and board, $1,200, 6 weeks away. She is not $1,200 short because she's careless. She is $1,200 short because Thomas died at 31, because the house is gone, because Craig is on the phone right now, and Kezia doesn't know. Tara has been telling her everything is sorted. It isn't. It hasn't been sorted for a long time. But Tara is still here, still working, still carrying that letter in her uniform pocket every single shift, because that letter is the only thing right now that proves it was all worth it. Kezia has no idea how close her mother is to losing everything. Tara has been protecting her from the truth for 8 months. The scholarship is real, the money is not. But before we get to the fall, let me show you something. Earlier, same night, same ballroom, about 2 hours before. Tara is restocking a water station near the side corridor, and she hears something. Small, easy to miss. A child, maybe 6 years old, in a little formal dress, sitting alone in the hallway, crying. Not the kind of crying that gets loud, the quiet kind. The kind where a child has already decided nobody is coming. 3 staff members walk past, then 2 more. Tara sets down her tray. She kneels, right there, in her uniform, at a $2,000 a plate gala, in front of whoever is watching. She just kneels, and she talks to her for 3 minutes until the parents come running. The father, embarrassed, the way people get when kindness makes them feel guilty, hands her a $5 bill. Tara takes it, full smile, no resentment, not even a flicker. The still man at the far end of the room saw all of it. He didn't move. He didn't react. But he saw it. Now, back in the ballroom, Tara is conscious, sitting near the service exit, paramedic checking her blood pressure, and Craig is already moving, not checking on her, not asking if she's okay, building a case, loud enough for people to hear, walking toward the event manager, already talking. He doesn't make it. The still man steps into his path, not aggressively, not loudly, just there, one hand, lightly, on Craig's forearm. Craig looks up, and something leaves Craig's face. Not recognition, exactly. Something closer to fear wearing expensive clothes. A woman nearby touches her companion's sleeve, whispers something. Her companion's face goes still. The event manager's phone rings. He answers it. 2 words. Hangs up. Walks directly to Craig. Step outside. The still man has said nothing. He hasn't introduced himself. He has done nothing except exist in the room with intent. His name is Chul Kang. And in the state of Georgia, if you worked in hospitality, logistics, real estate, or private security, you had worked for him or against him. There was no third option. His family's holding company, Kang Capital Group, headquartered on Peachtree Street Northwest, right here in Atlanta. Over 4,200 employees across the Southeast, and Silver Star Staffing, the agency that employed Tara, was one of 17 companies in his portfolio. He owned the company that just fired her, and he had no idea she worked for him. Chul owns the agency that fired Tara. He didn't know she was in his portfolio, but Craig did. And Craig specifically requested Tara for this event after pulling her file. The question isn't whether it was deliberate. It was. The question is, why? Craig is Thomas's younger brother. Tara's late husband's family never forgave her. They blamed her for pulling Thomas away from them. This is not the first job Craig has cost her. He's been a quiet, calculated presence in her life for 2 years. Tonight was not an accident. He doesn't call anyone, doesn't announce himself, doesn't take out his phone. He just sits down, not across from her, not standing over her, beside her, like they're two people waiting for the same bus. "Are you okay?" Tara says yes before she even finishes hearing the question. "Have you eaten?" "I'm fine." "That's not what I asked." He stands, walks back toward the ballroom, comes back 3 minutes later with a plate, not hors d'oeuvres, not scraps, a real plate from the main event. He sets it in front of her, says nothing, sits back down. Tara looks at the plate, looks at him. "I don't take charity. It's not charity. You worked for it. Every hour you've been standing in there, you earned a meal. The house just forgot to pay." She eats. She doesn't grovel. She doesn't overflow. But she says thank you once, clearly, and eats with dignity. And that's the moment, right there. Not because she's beautiful, not because he feels sorry for her, because in a room full of people performing deference for power, she is the only person in the building who just acted like herself. That's why he chooses her. And then her phone rings. Silver Star Staffing. Emergency line automated. "Your contract has been suspended pending a conduct review, effective immediately. No compensation will be issued for tonight's shift." Tara stares at the phone. 6 weeks, $1,200. Georgia State, Kezia. And then Craig appears in the doorway. He looks directly at Tara, not at the man beside her. Craig says, "You're done here. You need to leave the property before I call building security." He hasn't seen Chul. Nobody in that corridor saw what was coming next. Did you? Craig is already reaching for his phone. He has Tara's eviction record pulled up. A prior filing from 2 years ago that was dismissed, but he's used it before. He knows exactly what he's doing. This is not improvisation. Chul stands up, steps forward, into the light. Craig sees him, and the color leaves Craig's face, in real time. Chul doesn't raise his voice. He doesn't threaten. He doesn't perform. He looks at Craig the way someone looks at a minor inconvenience they have already decided to permanently remove. "Craig, you just terminated a contract employee at a Kang Capital event, at a Kang Capital venue, staffed by a Kang Capital agency without authorization. You didn't make a staffing decision tonight. You made a career decision. I hope it was worth it." He turns to Tara. "Your shift isn't over, and your pay just became a permanent employment offer. If you want it." He walks back into the ballroom, and Tara stands there, in a corridor that smells like industrial cleaner and cold stone, and with a job offer, and a man she doesn't fully understand. But something has shifted in the architecture of her life. But here's what that moment cost him. By stepping forward publicly, Chul exposed something, that he knew who Tara was, specifically, in a room where nobody else did. His board will ask questions. Craig's father is a city council member in Marietta. He has the power to complicate 2 of Kang Capital's pending permits. The protection was real, and it was not free. The job offer Chul makes is not for cleaning. The role is logistics coordinator, the exact title Thomas held before he died. Chul knew Thomas. They worked together. He has known who Tara is for longer than tonight. This was never a coincidence. 2 days later, Kang Capital Group, Peachtree Street Northwest, 32nd floor. Tara is sitting across from an HR coordinator. There is a contract on the desk. There is a pen in her hand. Her hand is on the paper, and then her phone rings. Kezia. Georgia State put a hold on the room and board reservation. They need the 1,200 confirmed by Friday, 4 days, or the spot goes to the wait list. Tara sets the pen down. She thanks the HR coordinator, says she needs 24 hours, and walks out. She will not take money from the man who is about to become her employer, not before she's earned it. Not like that. She goes home, calls every contact she has, lists Thomas's old tools on Facebook Marketplace, his drill, his level. The socket set he kept in the trunk of the car, even though they didn't own a car anymore. She picks up a Saturday shift at a diner in East Atlanta, one she's worked before, 8 hours, on her feet again. By Sunday night, she has $940, 260 short, 4 days left. Thursday, Flat Shoals Road, 7:14 a.m. Tara opens the mailbox. An envelope, no return address. Inside, a cashier's check, $1,200, made out directly to Georgia State University, not to Tara, and a note, handwritten, on Kang capital letterhead. Your husband was one of the best men I ever worked with. This isn't charity. It's a debt. CK. Tara sits down on the apartment steps. She doesn't cry. She holds the note for a long time. Then she reaches into her pocket, where she keeps Thomas's grocery list, and she puts the note right next to it. She stands up, goes inside, and calls Kezia. Was Chul wrong to send that check before Tara accepted the job offer? Or was it the only right thing to do? Tell me what you think in the comments below. Friday morning, Tara signs the contract. Clean signature. No hesitation. Saturday. She rests. For the first time in a long time, she actually rests. Sunday. She calls Kezia, tells her the room and board is sorted, doesn't say how, just says, it's done. Kezia laughs. That specific laugh. The one Tara has been working 3 jobs to hear. And then it's Sunday night. 10:48 p.m. Her phone buzzes. Unknown number, a text. Ask him how Thomas died. She reads it again and again. The phone stays in her hand. The screen goes dark. She doesn't move. Tara Johnson started her new life on a Monday. She walked into Kang Capital at 8 in the morning, pressed clothes, head up. Everything she'd earned, what she didn't know, what nobody told her, which is that Chul Kang had been looking for her for 2 years, not because of the gala, not because of the collapse. Before all of that, before she ever walked into that ballroom. And the reason why? That story is one nobody in Atlanta was supposed to know.